Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination thrive. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair. Calm down and get your feet again at the Sci-Fi Center. We got almost everything a geek could want at the Sci-Fi Center. You name it, we got it. Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and everything in between at the Sci-Fi Center.
Happy post Superbowl Sunday. That game was fucking awful. But hey, there were some good commercials, not very many. I think we are past the era of really good Super Bowl commercials. So if the game sucks, there's really nothing to fall back on. There were some creative ones, but mostly stupid. The commercials reflected the game. The game was kind of boring. It was pretty much over really quick. I guess you could consider that an upset since Kansas City was favored by 1 point, but it just wasn't really fun to watch. I mean, figured the first time I get to stream, do a watch along with the Super Bowl, the game is not even worth watching. So, hey, welcome to one of the last Sunday overnighters that we're going to do for a while. We'll get back to doing our Sunday night live stream, no topic type of shit next week. This week I hadn't been on the air for the last 2 days as far as like our normally slotted time, so I wanted to make it up with some topical stuff tonight. So tonight's show will cover, just like the thumbnail says, we are going to non-spoiler review, I'm sorry. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. I have it here in a hard cover. I'm going to give you the premise of it. I want you to go out and get this. You don't have to get the hardcover, but go ahead and get the comics themselves. And you can get if they're too pricey, if they're asking too much for those, you can go ahead and get the paperback that has them all in it. It looks exactly like this, except it's a trade paperback. It is the best Ninja Turtle story. I'm happy to hear that they're making a movie of this. Like I told somebody who posted on my timeline today that I think it was Forrest saying it's discussing that they're doing this instead of doing a proper Teenage Mutant. Fuck that. I'm done with the kid shit. I'm done with these other iterations of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that are made for people crawling around on all fours with diapers. Let's get to the heart of what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is. This is it right here. Something else we're going to go over is Elektra Assassin. Kind of get it, there's a connection here. Hand, Foot Clan, all that. This is a compilation of Bill Sienkiewicz's some of his best work. It includes his work on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Moon Knight, and then the entire Elektra Assassin series. Has some great artwork in it. We're going to talk about that. since we hopefully will see Elektra again. I don't think that actress is coming back from what I hear, but I hope to see Elektra again. I hope they do a better job. Brad is still missing. I already put out the milk carton. So if anybody sees, all right, and I'm on crappy internet. So if I disappear, just give me time. I'll get back. Right now, I'm on different internet. And if I might have to jump up out of this chair because I decided that it's been a rough week and I deserve a fat burger. So my 2 pounds of happiness is about 5 minutes away. So I may, if I don't get a co-host here pretty soon, I may have to put this sign up. And if I do that, that means I'm going to get my well-deserved 2 pounds of beef. All right. Let's see. All right, how you doing, Clint? Hello, Music Man. Drogo, what's going on? Oh, Ozzy, I just saw you. We were just watching that shitty game. I didn't see the game. You missed nothing. But I saw the score. Jesus, it was 20. Yeah, it was 40-22. And it wasn't, to be honest with you, it wasn't that close. I just never got the sense that KC was in this game at all. How you doing, Anthony? What's going on? Yeah, that was a waste of time. That was a waste of time. Anthony Beltre, you know what's funny is that the same thing happened to the Chiefs against Tampa. I think going back to the Super Bowl and win the ring, it's going to happen. Well, I don't think Casey's done. I don't think Casey's done. I mean, he's only 29. The coach isn't going anywhere. Kelsey's not going anywhere. They got a young staff. I mean, I see more Super Bowls in their future. They just need to fix the positions, free agents. Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. Their core is there. Joga, there are more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that aren't the Last Ronin. No, but they're not as good as this. There's plenty of more. There's plenty of really good Teenage Mutant Ninja. This is. Let me repeat myself. Tonight we're talking about me getting you to read the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle story. There are others. There are really good ones. There are really good runs of them. They're not this. This is the best one. All right. Let's see. And if you're gonna make a movie out of a Teenage, like I said, enough with the kid shit. Let's get to the best one. All right. Let's see. Don't you disrespect the one and only good live action Teenage Mutant? Okay, I don't have the buzzer here because Brad was abusing it the other night, but that would get one if I needed it. About this one, Last Ronin, it's like I said. Like I said, I'm going to flip through it and show you some of the panels, but I think all my years of reading the label that this is the best one in my opinion. Yeah, Super Bowl was lopsided and it was boring. It was, as I said, I mean, and usually when the Super Bowl, the game sucks like that, the commercials can help, make it more entertaining. Some of the commercials were disturbing, and the rest of them were just outright weird. Yeah, I hope she comes back too. I really did like that actress. I just didn't like what they did with the character. Am I still frozen? Hopefully, trash back burger. You know what? Like I said, now I know you're just trolling me, Azteca, so I'm not really gonna take all this seriously. Hold on, let me make sure that I'm not, because like I said, I can't switch to the other internet yet. Yeah, when I come back from picking up my food, I don't like that graininess. Like shit. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, we're gonna switch to the other internet when I grab my food. Oh yeah. Well, Andy Reid has won and lost Super Bowls. He's not gonna. I mean, the losses are always gonna suck more than the wins, but he's got 3 wins. He's got a winning record holding the Super Bowl. He'll be back, so he'll be fine. I'd love to see Keanu Reeves in The Last Ronin. Ooh. How you doing, Chappie? All right. It looks like my. All right, guys. I'm gonna be right back because it's Fat Burger time, and then when I get back, we're gonna switch to the better internet. Give me a few minutes. All right, I'm back. Feeling a little light. Let's take a look at this. I don't know, man. This might be a little bit on the disappointing side. It has the length, but I don't know if it has the weight. Maybe I'm just spoiled. I do have large hands. Here's my head. So, you know, that if those of you met me in person, you know I have a big head. So there it is. I guess it's. Just doesn't have that density that it's supposed to have. I mean, it looks great. I mean, they didn't skimp on the meat there. I don't know. I'm used to having to shift my footwork to pick these up. Well, I guess it'll be okay. Okie dokie. Okay. Yes, there we go. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like the usual, But like I said, I'm gonna tear it up. Doesn't matter. No stupid Good Burger jokes. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get demonetized, and let's watch the Thunderbolts trailer. Here we go. Don't.
Let's talk facts. The Avengers are
Aren't you responding? There we
not coming.
go. Here we go. All right. Ready, set. I am really looking forward to this movie. When I first heard of the concept, I'm like, this is stupid. Kind of like the comic book for a while. After a while, it got kind of dumb. The premise was stupid, but you know what? The more I see of this movie, the more I see the trailers, the more I'm starting to like these individual characters. They've taken the best elements of each of the stories that they've been in, and they put them together to make a really good movie. That villain in this trailer reminds me, I think it's Graviton. He's a cheap B villain, but I remember he was Graviton. Yeah, in fact, he's a Thunderbolts villain. You're about to see him. I remember him. He's like a serious B villain. He's even been in Spider-Man doing, he got beat up by Spider-Man. But if you look at the trailer, that's got to be him. All right, here we go, guys. Let's lose our 14 cents. Nope, wrong one. Sorry. We're going to watch Mission Impossible trailer later. I didn't put that in the thumbnail because I forgot about it. So there we go. I got too many trailers up. Let's go. Here we go.
Let's talk facts. The Avengers are not coming. Who will keep the American people safe?
There's some big threat out there, and you are gonna help me stop it.
Wait, us?
Yeah, you. Why, you got someplace to be?
I love that guy.
So none of us comply? So what, we all just punch and shoot?
I can't think of a worse group of people trying to work together.
Where are you?
Everyone here has done bad things. You can't escape the past. Hey, it's like your mind is somewhere else.
So you can do something about it now, or live with it forever.
This could get messy.
No shit. You thought you were gonna be some great saviors? You can't even save yourself.
We can't do this. No one here is a hero.
Lena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes. That's why we need each other.
Okay, that was really good.
We are the Thunderbolts!
Can't call ourselves that.
God, thank you.
This has makings of team that can rise to glory. Bring light from the darkness. This team can be the heroes on the Wheaties box. With a little giddy toy.
Alexei, have you slept?
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
I'd like not to die today, so maybe somebody else should be driving.
All right, so there's the Super Bowl. Well, they only showed about 30 seconds on the Super Bowl. And then they just basically directed us to go watch it on their site. I got Suicide Squad, sort of Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it, but with better characters. Each of these characters has a lot more depth to them before you even see them as a team. So I'm a little bit more connected to each of these characters, whereas I thought the Suicide Squad characters were throwaway characters, and the Guardians, separate from themselves, I didn't care about any of those characters outside of like Rocket, maybe. So I'm really looking forward to this. This looks like a lot of fun. This gets released, I think, Free Comic Book Day, which is already going to be a fun week. I like everything about the trailer. I like the people who play the characters. I think Wyatt Russell is perfect for John Walker. Florence Pugh is great for Elena. I mean, and what's his face? David Harbour is good in just about anything. He even made, he's the best thing about the Hellboy remake that they did, or reboot, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. He's the best thing about that movie. And it's unfortunate, and I said that that was a wasted performance of him. Like I said, we're still looking for Brad. Still looking for Brad. When I talked to him, he sounded like a little mouse. So I don't know. You already knew he had the voice of a 14-year-old to begin with. Just imagine that cut in half. So I don't know if we do find him, if we want to hear from him. Then again, who knows? There he is.
Hey, how's it been without me, guys?
Wow, it's like you sucked the helium out the balloon, and then you're like,
yeah. Oh man, what a birthday week. It hits me in like what a hell of a way to start another trip around the sun.
Did you get your flu shot already, or did?
No.
Oh, now you got the flu.
I call it the bitch slap flu because that's what this felt like. Yeah, I'm taking William's advice about this is some warm honey tea.
Tea works. Like I said, I always throw a couple of cough drops in it, let it melt in there, and then when you're breathing, it clears up your passages.
Right. And you buy some of those. How do I sound?
I'm surprised you didn't have like a 200 count bag, man.
I got throat lozenges right now. It's like I've been eating those like M&Ms.
All right, so that is the Thunderbolts trailer. I thought the best trailer of the day. We are going to watch the Mission Impossible trailer. I should have put that in the thumbnail, but like I said, I already had it built. I was building the trailer while I was watching that bore of a game. So I forgot. They showed that after I already ran out of space. That game wasn't very good at all.
Yeah, because it's so weird. I mean, with the Super Bowl stream tonight, because football's never really been my game. I mean, I don't even really regularly watch the Super Bowl other than for the trailers. So I guess it's just as well I was kind of conked out with it tonight because I probably would have been like the third.
It would have put you to sleep. It would have put you like
but
if I wasn't screaming it, I would have walked away from it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it was a real for the if you were a Chiefs fan, you definitely went home crying.
Well, if you're a Chiefs fan, yeah, the immediate moment sucks for you, but you pretty much been very deep into the playoffs or the Super Bowl every year, and you're going to be back next year. Yeah, you'll get over this one in about a day or so. It doesn't wake Jerry. If this doesn't wake Jerry Jones after seeing two NFC East rivals in the championship game and the other winning their second Super Bowl ring in less than 10 years, I don't think his brain is wired that way. I don't know if that man wants to win a Super Bowl. I think he just wants to be the top of the ticket. He wants to be the main guy I've talked about. Because when he was winning Super Bowls, that wasn't good enough for him. He chased Jimmy Johnson out there because he wasn't getting the credit for the win. So I don't know if this guy even, because ownerships that are serious about winning Super Bowls don't do the stupid shit that Jerry Jones does. They generally hand it over to somebody who is better than them. He thinks he's a great GM. He's had 30 years to prove it. It's literally been it's 29 years since the Cowboys have been relevant and this deep in the playoffs. And they haven't been to a Super Bowl since the 1995 season, 1996 for 1996. And when Jerry got Jimmy Johnson got chased out, and they got Barry Switzer, who basically inherited the team, and those players ran that team to a Super Bowl, not him. So yeah, Jerry Jones, yeah, he's unfortunately the guy just doesn't care about winning. That trailer was not trash.
No, good to me. I'm getting more excited for this, and it has a great soundtrack from what they've been doing so far in the marketing.
They've definitely done the right ramp up with this one. Yeah. Snyder vibes. Well, I felt Suicide Squad, but hey,
yeah, I thought so too. Hey, Brad, miss you. Yeah, guys. I mean, I wanted to be coming on these last couple nights, but I mean, literally. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of rundown.
You're probably gonna go see that too.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I caught something about like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. And, it felt like it was just like a cold or, sore throat or something. And then it kind of went away, but it left me with like my voice, feeling very hoarse, but I wasn't feeling bad. Then I get home Tuesday night, and like as soon as literally as soon as I get home, that's when the symptoms hit. And it just, I mean, the first one was the headaches. I mean, the headaches are just, oh man, these headaches were horrible. I mean, it was like this eagle landed on my head and just started digging its talons into my head. Then I got the chills. The chills were, oh man, the chills were bad. And of course, on top of that, you also get I have a fear with that. So it's like I'm either, if I'm up and around, I feel like I'm going to freeze to death. And then if I'm under the covers, it's like I'm burning alive. And then I've got the body aches with that on top of that. So I had a full blown flu that just, I call it a bitch slap flu because it felt like a bitch slap. That finally kind of started to subside about Thursday night, and that's when I by Friday I was able to kind of start going back to life. I mean, I was well enough to go out to see Love Hurts, which I did like a lot, by the way. Love Hurts, Aaron, with our buddy Kihui Kwan does all the martial arts in it, so I'm bringing that up because Illinois win. But no,
that movie is bombing, by the way.
Yeah, but it's. I looked it up. It's like, in fact, let me look this up real quick.
I mean, I didn't expect the movie. It didn't look. I didn't go see it. I sent people to see it, but I mean, I'm not going to see it. But
the budget's 18. The budget. It's so far. Opening weekend was 6.9. The budget's 18. So it's like
it'll make it bad. But man, how you got an Academy Award winning guy who's pretty much he's a decent sized draw. He's become a decent draw. He's more than a $6 million opening box office draw. So yeah, that's not a good result. Granted, they'll make them on the back end, but that I was surprised to see that movie. And a lot in the critics. I mean, fuck the critics, but they usually like that guy.
Yeah.
And they buried that movie. Maybe they weren't burying him. They just didn't like the movie. So
yeah, which really was perplexing to me because I thought for what it was. I mean, what it advertised itself as, I mean, it did that job very well. It advertised as like a 90s era Jackie Chan action comedy, and it did that very, very well. So, fortunately, I was able to, I was well enough to go see that this weekend, but then, again, I still kind of sound a little bit hoarse right now, so I've been tiptoeing back into coming on to streaming. At the dojo, they said, yeah, go ahead, take the rest of the week off. And, of course, this all had to coincide with my birthday, So,
take care of yourself, man. I don't think you see Norman Osborn. You're not going to see Norman Osborn in something like this before you see him in Spider-Man. Maybe if they put him in the next Spider-Man movie or something like that, but I don't think you're going to see Norman Osborn appear somewhere outside of a Spider-Man story first. So no, I don't think so, Chuck. Nobody cares. Let's see.
Thanks, sis.
Whatever.
By the way,
That's so
sis, if it's
creepy.
playing in
Just
Australia, go see Love Hurts.
Stop. Still calling it that.
Love Hurts rules, sis.
Creepy ass. Okay, let's see. Brad's about to talk again. Okay, I don't need to read that. I'm just strolling through the chat because you guys are probably planning some knucklehead. Yeah, I am gonna go. I'm probably gonna be taking some people with me to see that too. We didn't promote it out here, but I'm gonna go see it Thursday night. They had a fan event in Hindertucky, and I'm like, why would you put? Don't you want people to go see it? So they're gonna the preview screening start. I'm gonna be there for the preview screening. So I'm really the slate of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies this year is all for me. I don't care what anybody says about them. It's like they jumped into my mind and they said, "What kind of movies do you want to see from Marvel this year, William?" And then I didn't even have to say anything because I mean they knew I was gonna like Thunderbolts before I did, apparently, because that trailer is good. The Fantastic Four trailer, the movie looks great, but I've been looking forward to that.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, because I wasn't able to come on and share my thoughts that night. No, that does look pretty good. That does, as somebody who's always been very agnostic on the Fantastic Four, just in general, that does look pretty good. I'm intrigued by that.
Big disappointment. I unless somebody saw it and then wants to send me a link, I didn't see anything for Superman.
Oh, I thought you were going to say with Dr. Doom in the trailer.
No, I don't think I know he's in the movie. I'm pretty sure he's in the movie. There's no reason to show him right now. They didn't even show you Galactus' face, and he's in there. I'd already seen it, but no, nothing for nothing significant for Superman. We got
that bowl cut for for Guy Gardner. What are you talking about?
People, they needed to have something out there today.
Yeah.
And when I heard that they're not going to give you anything today, they're going to give you some stuff for Puppy Bowl. I'm like, well, that's fucking dumb, but I'll take that. That's something. I thought they should have had something during Puppy Bowl and the Super Bowl, even if they did just like they did for Thunderbolts. They just gave you because what I showed you in Thunderbolts wasn't what you saw on TV. You just saw a little 30-second spot, and then they led you to it. Something like that. Or a trailer. If you didn't want to do a Super Bowl commercial, do the full trailer, because all we have is the teaser. And like I keep trying to explain to people who want to just be wrong, teasers aren't trailers. Trailers are trailers. Fantastic Four the other day, that's a trailer. Superman, that's a teaser. So I really think I really thought they should have put a trailer out there today, or in the vicinity of today, and they didn't. So like I said, I hope it all works out. I think any platform that has that many people watching it, and you're trying to get something kickstarted that has so many uphill factors going against it right here, everywhere you can put it increases your odds of endearing yourself. Especially you got the dog. You got the dog. People love the dog. I have no use for crypto, period, ever in any format. But I understand that a lot of other people love the dog. They love pets. They love it's great marketing tool. Use it. You had them on. I thought that was underwhelming with the whole Puppy Bowl thing. And I'm like, okay, great. We got the dog. We made the connection. Let's do something big with this and get us going. And they chose not to do it. I hope. I mean, like I said, I hope they they got something coming. But I'm still gonna go see the movie. But you got to realize, you spent the last 7 years, the average fan, not the Snyder Bro or Brats or whatever the fuck they want to call people, the average fan has just moved on to other things when it comes to Superman. And now you have to do everything you can to get them to turn their heads towards you, while there's a whole bunch of other things going on. You have, the comic book marketplace when it comes to comic book movies. You have 3 movies coming out from Marvel to their 1. Now, granted, I always say they don't need to worry about, make your movie, but you do have to take advantage of the attention span. If they're talking about Fantastic Four and they're talking about a movie being released in July that's a superhero movie, you need to make sure that you're on that wave. Even if it had nothing to do with your movie. We're talking comic book movies in July. Your comic book movie comes out in July. That's like a big wave. If you're a surfer, you get on that wave and you ride it. And I thought they missed an opportunity to do so today. You know,
Yeah.
I guess they got something else in store. All right, let's hit the chat.
Hopefully.
And then we're gonna go.
All right. Thunderbolts is the only new trailer dropped. Yeah, that's what RJ says.
What's that?
That's RJ says that Thunderbolts is the only new trailer dropped for Super Bowl today.
And that of all the movies that really they're not going to need a trailer for that movie. They don't have super high expectations for that movie. It's just another step in the direction that they're going. Marvel's not starting a universe. See, that's the thing. Marvel didn't need the Super Bowl trailer. Marvel is picking up where they left off. So yeah, I think Sentry is a lame character to begin with, but
Aaron,
I
I've been saying this for like 5 years.
I think Bill Pullman, Robert Pullman will play him just fine, but I think the character is lame. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan of how they did that with Super. I mean, you got to have something out there today. I mean, right now you're 5 months away. You still should have your main trailer and then another trailer coming up. But I also want them to use the platform that they have with DC, their show, DC Universe or DC Studio show. They need to do a lot more than that. They got off to a good start, but they really need to be a little bit more splashy with their narrative. Like I said, this isn't a normal circumstance. A normal circumstance is what Marvel's in. But you're trying to get your audience back, build a new audience, and start building a rapport or rebuilding a rapport. Marvel's already had that. You can make fun of some of the movies that haven't done as well, but for the most part, they're consistent. You know what to expect from them. I don't need to advertise as much as they do. They're not starting a new universe. So yeah, I really was disappointed to not see something more from Puppy Bowl, and like I said, a full trailer. No more teasers. You know, you gave me a teaser for a teaser, and the teaser was fine. But you really, in the difference between a teaser and a trailer, by the way, it doesn't matter the length. It could be a trailer can be 30 seconds if it gives you the premise, and a teaser can be 2.5 minutes and just give you high spots. A trailer gives you the premise, introductory, and the basic plot. Fantastic Four did that. It introduced you to the main players. All right. It introduced you to the premise, and the plot was obvious. There's a giant purple and blue alien that can suck the life out of a planet that they clearly show in there. So that's a trailer. Superman gave you the dog. Let's go drag me to back to the home. It gave you pictures and photos of people and certain things, but there's no premise there. That was just a high spot, which is fine. Those teasers are great, but the next progression is a trailer. And I'm really, I'm worried about the market. That it could still be the money it makes. I'm worried, be honest with you, as somebody who's waiting to for a reason to really go full throttle with this. It's like there's more on the line than just this one movie. Superman unto itself isn't going to be, it's going to make what it's make. It's how it is perceived and the ramp up to it, because we're not just ramping up to Superman. We're ramping up to Supergirl. We're ramping up to Lanterns. We're ramping up to Swamp Thing. We're getting you pushed in the right direction at the proper speed for not just one movie, an entirety of a universe. And unfortunately, I don't think they have the benefit of the doubt of just, let's just do one movie at a time and let's just make the best movie and see how it goes. That's bullshit for them. For them, that's bullshit. For another company, yeah. But like I said, unfortunately, they put all their weight onto one movie. So if you're going to do that, then hey, let's go. I need to see trailers. I need to see a whole bunch of stuff. DC Studios, their show should be literally, at this point, living and breathing the DCU. And, they're doing all right, but just not as much as it needs to be. So, all right. Hello, Larry. Let's see, the reason the studio showed that, okay, the only movie that showed up in a big way at Super Bowl was Disney with Lilo and Stitch, which they started off this Super Bowl with them. They were chasing the little blue thing, whatever the fuck. I don't care about that movie, but they were chasing it on the field and kind of cool for what they're doing. And Thunderbolts, Mission Impossible, Jurassic World were just average to the trailers online. Yeah, and that average to trailers online is fine. That's the same thing as a trailer. Because guess what? I can link, especially for most of us that are watching these on other devices, we can just click right to the trailer and get there. That's okay. Mission Impossible is a proven franchise. And depending on it, when it's released, it won't get cannibalized like the last one did. Thunderbolts is part of an established franchise that you're probably just going to trust. And Jurassic Park is printing, or Jurassic World is printing money. Out of all the ones that didn't need to be there, none of those were really, you're not going to get the people who love the dinosaurs are already hyped. They're going to see the dinosaurs. The people who are in the MCU are going, the percentage of them that are going to see a non-A-list movie are already going to go see Thunderbolts. And Mission Impossible is Tom Cruise. Very rarely does he fail. But the one wild card in this whole thing is the one that's starting up a new universe. They really needed to be there today, but hey, like I said, I'm not rooting for the movie to fail just because of it. I just wish there would have been something to add positively to the conversation that's like, okay, this is really cool, this is fun. I'm never going to get over that costume. I think it's atrocious, but that's not a deal killer for me. The only thing I saw today for Superman was some lousy Guy Gardner thing. By the way, he looks screen accurate. I'm not saying that, the Guy Gardner's, my disdain for Guy Gardner and the shitty look is they gave you that.
That's baked into the character.
Exactly like the Guy Gardner that on the comics that I would throw away with him in it. So they did a good job there, but Guy Gardner's not the A-lister. Superman. All right. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like I said, maybe we'll get to July and the shit won't matter. But like I said, if wherever Fantastic Four is doing something, they don't need to compete with Fantastic Four, but they need to take advantage of that comic book conversation energy that's going to happen when that's up there. Because everybody who I that's talking about the trailer for Fantastic Four, I'm trying to say, hey, there's another movie coming out. Because like I said, we will most likely be, along with the promotion for that movie one way or another. So the conversation is better when DC is going at full throttle. And it's been so long since we've had a consistent good conversation. I hope they fix that. Yeah, I thought it needed to be out there today. It needed to be out there today, even if it was just a link. They could have done it at Puppy Bowl, right? They own Discovery Channel. That's their channel, so you didn't have to pay. You know what? This is the internet era. We're on YouTube. Doesn't matter where the trailer airs. It's going to end up in the same place. So if you'd have put it with the puppies, dude, you'd have had all the female demographic loving the animals, the MILFs watching it, and then us geeks jumping on. You know what? I mean, I just think, and then you have the means to make it. The movie's done. It's in the can. Let's see what Let's see today. I needed to see who the villain is, because Fantastic Four is literally in the same ballpark as far as being released, and I know who one of the main villains are. Now you could say Lex Luthor. They showed you Lex Luthor, but that ain't all that's going on that they've shown you in those snippets. That's not all Lex Luthor, and I don't need to know the premise necessarily of Galactus. I know what he's there for. It's like when I come down on this burger, you don't need to know what's going to happen next. I'm going to eat this burger. So there's your premise right there. Like I said, just an opportunity right there to to really to wow things. To be honest with you, if Fantastic Four had that trailer going on Tuesday, later on that afternoon during a decent hour, I have a Superman trailer. Not to go head to head necessarily, but to take advantage of the conversation that's being had. So, all right. No, this is I like defensive football. This is boring. I mean, it's just boring. I mean, but yeah, you know what? Congratulations, Phillies. You know what? Here we go. Let's see. By the way, you owe me in the city of Philadelphia followers are saying no one should pay attention to the NFC game. Yeah, you won. I'm surprised. I expected you to get absolutely crushed today, but I think I don't know how much was that Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes was terrible today. Him having a bad day at his office or how good Philly is. But no, I didn't think they had a chance in hell. I mean, I didn't have a dog in the fight, either way. I'm not from Philly and I'm not from KC. But the way both of those teams played, KC beat better teams on their way to losing to Philadelphia. Philadelphia played a Washington team that wouldn't have even been there had a Detroit team been healthy. So I thought that the AFC sharpened and honed them, whoever came out of that conference. Patrick Mahomes, for one of the very rare times in his career, just didn't show up. He threw some really bad interceptions. I mean, he threw. I don't know if you guys have ever ever played Techno Bowl, where you throw the interception and they're like, oh, what the hell? He threw some really bad passes today, and he threw them when he had time. They were rushing forward, but that's nothing he hasn't seen before. So yeah, Kelsey wasn't running routes. I mean, it took him to like the second half to get a ball. So no, I think that the Chiefs made mistakes that they generally don't make, and that allowed Philly to come in. Congrats to Philly, but no, I would have still picked KC. If they played 10 times, I would pick KC 9 out of the 10. I would pick them the next 9. So yeah, congratulations. But yeah, you're Philly. You're the Eagles played lesser teams on their way to the Super Bowl. So what do you want me to say? Let's see. I have 6 peppers. We were fighting over the remote. Oh, for Puppy Bowl. All right. Hey, Chappie, Lawrence. It was a missed opportunity not to have some sort of crypto-related market. Something. I mean, they didn't do anything. Could have been a clip from the movie, a TV spot. You know what? You could have given me the whole thing from the dog's point of view. I just turn around and have the dog and then have him sniffing it. I mean, something. I mean, it disappoints me more because James Gunn has that mind. I expect the normal stuff. Safran, I expect him not to have an imagination. I expect a Zaslav or an executive. James Gunn, that's his mind works differently. I'm surprised, and he shouldn't have to take over marketing. He may have to. Let's see. Superman will probably own Ultra. You know what? That makes sense because guess what? Warner Brothers owns those channels. So, but the Super Bowl is the largest American audience you're going to have. The largest American audience you're generally going to have is going to be a Super Bowl. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Superman could have taken advantage because, like I said, nobody, not just the studios, nobody who wanted to sell you anything came out and really blew me away. There were some pretty creative ones, but they were either creepy or they were dumb. Those are the two. Even the good ones. The seal one with his creepy head on his seal, that was creepy. I didn't need to see that. But some of the other ones, there have been certain Super Bowls where the commercials were better than anything else, but not this week. Okay, fuck CinemaCon because we don't go to that. They're probably going to show it at CinemaCon. But here's the thing. Okay, a bunch of critics coming out and saying, "Oh, it's great," and a bunch, in the movie theater saying, "Oh, it's great," pales in comparison to Johnny No Name and Bob In-Betweener, the average Joe. That is millions and millions. The 1,000 and 2,000 whatever people that are 6,000 people that can fit in there to watch CinemaCon or a Comic-Con or any of these kind of cons. That's minute. It's a lot easier to share positive energy when everybody sees it and can catch on to it. I mean, some guy coming out at Comic-Con or somebody coming out of CinemaCon, getting you hyped for it. We don't have the bandwidth to pay that. But when you put it on YouTube, when you put it on TV, we all have it. And if it's good, we can all carry it across the finish line. So I'm against these exclusive places. Even if I'm at the convention, if I'm watching it, it should be out into the general populace about 5-10 minutes later. That's how you do it. How many millions of people are on YouTube every day, or on TikTok, or on all these other platforms, or watching your networks? More than it's at CinemaCon. More than it can go. Only 6,000 people can get into Hall H. I know. I fucking slept out in the lawn after my bed broke, being one of those 6,000 people. So I'm not a math whiz, but I know however many millions that are on YouTube, TNT, TBS, it's more than 6,000. So I just yeah, show it at CinemaCon. That's fine. And I know they're not gonna show it at well, they might show it at Comic-Con, but I think Comic-Con is gonna be reserved for Fantastic Four because that comes out that weekend. But yeah, stop it with the exclusive stuff like this. You want the mass amount of money, don't show it to a elite group of people. Fuck that. Everybody needs to see that. Oh yeah. Philly's parties are as dangerous as an assault. So yeah, they're probably tearing up that city right now. All right, guys, I need to address this. Just because my genre and the name of the show is science fiction, horror, and fantasy doesn't mean all science fiction, horror, fantasy. There is science fiction, horror, fantasy that I think is absolute garbage, right? I would rather chew on my sock than talk about or watch them. But they're science fiction and horror. It doesn't matter. This doesn't mean that I'm going to talk
Hot Tub Time Machine, that is sci-fi.
That's sci-fi, right? Right? I would rather staple my dick to this chair than ever watch that, right? Sci-fi though, right? Right? So just because something is science fiction doesn't mean I want to talk about it or cover it. There are limits to these things, right?
Really, man, really, you hate it that much?
I don't hate it, but you guys just can't assume just because there's a lot of sci-fi out there that's really good, and there's a lot of sci-fi out there that's really bad. Lilo and Stitch, listen, I don't think it's horrible. It's not for me. They didn't make that movie for me. So when that little thing was crawling around the football field, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, okay, I get it. All right. I didn't turn the channel or anything, but that was now that kind of marketing. Where was crypto? If the little blue mouse elephant, whatever the fuck that is, could crawl around and crash into the end zone and do what it did, where's crypto? I can't have a CGI dog flying across the end zone, grabbing the ball and tackling. Have them dragging all the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles into the end zone. Play fetch with them. I mean, that's what I mean. I don't know, but hey, it's their deal. So, but no, I don't hate Lilo and Stitch. It just wasn't for me. Most Disney stuff is not for me.
No, I did Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh yeah, Hot Tub. That's a horrible movie, by the way. Let's see. I think the trailer debuts at All-Star Weekend on TNT next week. WB. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. But like I said, I watched the All-Star game, and I watched All-Star the skills contest, and yeah, financially it would be better for them. But okay, you get what you pay for. I mean, you really need to go out on this, but yeah, there more people are watching the Super Bowl. The only thing that gets watched more than the Super Bowl sporting event is going to be soccer, and that's globally. But here in America, I mean, even if you didn't put it on the show, everybody's going. A lot of people probably tuned out at this game. I doubt very many people that weren't from Philly. Hell, even if you were from KC, you're like, this shit's over. So a lot of people may not have watched most of the game. They might have been walking away, getting food, getting drunk, getting hammered, doing weed, doing all the things that you do at a Super Bowl party. Because if there's no game to watch, and you may not have watched it, so we're all going to go home and look at you just click on the Super Bowl thing, and there's a little tab on there for all the Super Bowl commercials, right? So, I mean, yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, man. Yeah, Paul Rudd was out there. He's still not aging. Under normal circumstances, like I said, your team won because the other team really didn't show up. If that team shows up just a little bit, like they did in the second half when he scored those meaningless touchdowns, I know you're a Philly homer. I don't know why you're a Philly fan. I don't know where you're from, but yeah, like I said, given who they played on their way there, KC played better teams. They just, didn't show. Now, another thing is they probably played more games than anybody too, because when you go to 3 state Super Bowls, you're playing more than anybody. I thought the game would be closer. When I said Philly didn't have a chance, I didn't expect KC to come out and beat them 50-0 or something like that. I expected the game to be close, and then when it came time to win the game, the more experienced, better coach team would win the game. The defense on Saquon Barkley was excellent. They just didn't. Their guys didn't in the secondary didn't do what they usually do. That's not a usual game for KC. That's why it's an upset. But they did a good job in stopping Saquon Barkley. I thought Saquon Barkley was going to have like 180 yards, and Philly was going to lose because they wouldn't be able to get any passing out there. Jalen Hurts was able to find people because in order to stop Barkley, they had to open up things, and he took advantage of that. So, but Patrick Mahomes was the same thing. Patrick Mahomes just missed people today. And his receivers dropped a lot of balls. One of the dudes, I think it was the rookie. He did get this. No one was near the dude. He gets hit in the numbers with a pass. Not only would he have had a first down, he's going to the house, drops the ball. Nobody near him. So stuff like that you usually don't see. If the KC Chiefs that the last 2 years show up, no, you really wouldn't have had a chance. Luckily, some other team showed up today. Yeah, the Chiefs played their worst game in not just this season, a lot of seasons. 40-22, I think it was.
Were you got sick too?
Let's see. F for Eagles. Crypto homeward bound.
I really liked it when it came out. I kind of put in the same category as The Hangover now, where I say, if that same movie comes out today, I don't know if I'm as big a fan of it. I think my humor has kind of evolved in the time since.
Yeah. I knew, and I went to go see that. I think I was with my unit here in Vegas when we went for a movie night for an in-station AT, and they voted for that sack of shit movie. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? That movie was horrible. And once again, it wasn't even good, bad, horrible. Like usually when stupid time machine movies and have dumb premises and everything, it wasn't. Nothing about that movie was worth. As a matter of fact, I just kept going to get food for people. It's like this movie sucked.
No, but I mean, as the iconic moment, must be some kind of hot tub time machine.
Like I said, those are the movies when you walk into my office and say, "Hey, boss, I got an idea for a movie, and I need the trap door that Jabba has when he hit it and the dancer fell through the pit and the rancor ate her." That's what I needed. That's what I need for that movie. Yeah, the Tubi one was creepy. What they had, the flesh cowboy hat. I was commenting on these while we were on air, and I'm like, although Tubi did an excellent job streaming this, though. If you weren't watching it at Fox at home and you had to watch it anywhere like on Roku or the internet, it was Tubi that was giving it to you, and they had a flawless presentation. Netflix has like 1 billion followers globally and has the biggest infrastructure in the world for this shit, and they can jam stuff up with just a quarter of that. Tubi had way more people watching, and I did not have one skip. I did not have one pause. So kudos to Tubi for being able to bring that through. That was one thing I did. It went so well, I didn't even notice it. That's how things are supposed to go. How you doing, Antonio Baker? You can find the money for a trailer. When you're investors and people buy into this movie, they buy into the ad, the ad campaign too. So it's not all the studio. The studio, intermediates come in. The people who finance the movie, part of the financing the movie is you get money for an advertising budget. So they needed to negotiate that when it happened. I mean, like I said, there's really no. You listen. If you're too cheap to advertise a movie, then you're too cheap to release the movie. If you can't afford to advertise it, you can't afford to really release it. It's just, it comes with the game. So if you're not ready to advertise on a wide scale, then you're not ready to release the movie. And I hope that's not the case. But The sequel was shit. The first one was shit. I'm not even remotely ever going to give the sequel a chance. Why there was a sequel made, that's the problem. No, not even Netflix. Nah. And a lot of, you see, Netflix doesn't really do that. I mean, Netflix has done that more in the last couple of years, but for the most part, Netflix doesn't spend money on that. They spend money on content. Their advertisement is everything else that's on their channel or on their profit thing. Hello, Jason. How you doing? Let's see here. Congratulations. Stop RD didn't run into the end zone. We were congratulating him for. He didn't throw no touchdowns. He didn't tackle nobody. Let's see, Aaron. Question: knowing that you played football at school, what position did you play? And I didn't play football. No, those fools were big. I tried out. I took a hit. I'm like, okay, this is not going to be good for my well-being or growth. Oh no, I did not play football. Brad, did you play football?
Did I? In high school, I did.
Okay, she must be talking to you then.
Actually, looking back, I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, well, I got hit. I'm like, okay, that was fun. I'll have that memory. Yeah, release that.
Like, like I say, it's just not my game. It's never. I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was trying to get the Letterman's jacket and get the bullies off my ass and get the girls, things like that. I was in it for the wrong reasons. It's like what I should have been doing was what I was doing, and the rest of the time I was doing martial arts.
Yes, I did see that. The commercials felt like they were pushback against government in an election. You know what? That's where the money's at. The advertising agencies, they see what's going on and they're going to take advantage of that. Especially when you have certain elements that are involved in product. People who do social media platforms and internet and things like that, they are going to take advantage of the built-in fear that's what's going on in the world right now, and they would not be worthy of their jobs if they did not do that. Guy Gardner looked stupid, but guess what? He looked exactly like he was supposed to. So, all right, so hey, the best turtle story out there. Don't even test me in the chat. Don't bring up your kitty turtles. I don't want to hear about Vanilla Ice. I don't want to hear about those Muppets that they put shells on and threw them up on the screen and just made my stomach turn into knots. All right. If you want to bring up the last one that came out, the last animated one, I really like the way that one turned out. That was the closest thing to acceptable for me. But when it comes to the actual paper with the medium, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' Last Ronin is the best. I just sold a couple copies today for an old Turtles fan that wanted to get back to the roots of what things were. IDW put this out. I'll read you the premise. In the chat, please don't say anything about who the Last Ronin is, the plot, the ending. Don't do it. If you've all read this, don't say anything about it. And for those of you who are in the comments, try not to spoil it, later on, because I want you to read this, and there are some twists and turns in this that make the story even more entertaining. All right, the premise: the future of New York City is dim, a high-tech urban battlefield controlled by the Foot Clan and their cybernetic soldiers. But from a wasteland outside the walls, a lone surviving turtle, the Last Ronin, is on a hopeless mission to end his family's feud once and for all. Carrying only the mementos of what he left behind, he'll join new and old allies to reclaim the sewers or die trying. From the legendary Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles creators Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird comes the story of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 decades in the making, with writer Tom Waltz and artist, I'm going to fuck his name up, Esau Escorza and Isaac Escorza, with Ben Bishop. It is violent. It is well drawn. It is not uplifting. It is not from the very first pages, wish for death. Very, very, very first pages right there. You automatically, the tone is set. and you're dealing with the premise that this is the last of the turtles. They don't outright tell you who it is, and for those of you in the chat who've read it, don't do it because that's part of the story. So I love the page breakdowns. A lot of this reminds me of Frank Miller. And if the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were heavily inspired by Frank Miller's run on Daredevil. Let's see. Yeah, there's these the cybernetic ninjas. The fight, this story, in my opinion, does the best job of articulating the fighting that previous iterations of Turtles just doesn't do. And this is a hardcover edition that I'm giving you, but it is in a soft cover, and you could also get the comics. The comics are a little bit pricey right now, depending on where you're going. There's a one particular violent scene here where let's see. I don't want to make sure I don't put it. All right. So for those of you who are familiar with Japanese samurai culture, seppuku culture is when a samurai or a noble, a lot of times it was the some Japanese admirals and generals would do it when they thought they failed the emperor. It's a process of taking your sword and stabbing yourself and really moving the sword around to basically disembowel yourself. And there would generally be somebody there. Once you've done it, that would take your head just to end your pain. Once you've done the deed, you were going to die anyway. This particular turtle, he's the last of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he feels that he's failed his mission, and this is where he's at. And this is earlier on in the story. The artwork in here is beautiful. The way the city is drawn is great. A lot of the flashback storytelling, it's almost like this story is being told. Let me get up here. Being told backwards, because you start with the premise of, this is the last turtle. You know that the other three turtles are gone. They tell you how that happens in here. Here are some of the covers, some of the alternate covers. Like I said, this really, I think the reason why I like this as my favorite turtle story is it reminds me a lot of The Dark Knight. Except it's way more depressing than The Dark Knight because, like I said, you establish the Ninja Turtles as a clan of 4, and you automatically open up the story with them being gone. They play a part. That's not a spoiler, by the way. It's the last. The Last Ronin indicates that's the title. They've used different artwork to illustrate flashbacks and everything else. A lot of the artistic styles that they've used have been used earlier on, like in the late 80s when it was all black and white, before it got really, really big. There's a lot of familiar faces in here. I won't, let you in on that because I don't want to spoil it for you. But I like the way the design of the turtles is in here. I mean, it's really, they throw back to the artwork that they were using in the late 80s, and they mix it. Like I said, if you told me that Frank Miller and Cross Jansen and Lynn Barley did this book, I would have believed you. But it's heavily influenced. For some of the people that I was selling this to today, we were talking about the Daredevil show. If you like Daredevil, if you like the current Netflix show Daredevil, and you're not in the comics yet, or of the Turtles, and you're looking for a space to play it in. Even though the Turtles has a lot of history, you can start from day one. It depends on where you're coming from. If you're coming from watching things like Daredevil and you're ready for Born Again and you've been watching along with us, I think that this lines up with the influence of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is the Frank Miller run on Daredevil, the 1981-1984 run that was inspired, that inspired the existence. Then I think this is where you can start. You're going to have a basic awareness of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can go, I got plenty of turtle stuff here, old and new, that you can go back. But as far as like a jumping on point, for people who are into other things that are maybe associated with this type of tone, I think The Last Ronin is a perfect area for you to come in. The old turtle stuff isn't going anywhere, but you don't need it for this story. You really don't need it for this story. You just need to have a basic awareness. I've sold this to people who have never picked up turtles in their life, and they loved it. Now they're buying the new turtle stuff and some of the older turtle stuff. So I think this is, and the way it is written, the basic bones of the story is vengeance, honor, and vengeance. If you understand those two things, you can follow this and you're going to enjoy this just fine. I'm biased, obviously, because of the influences. I think that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin is the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle they've written. I am thrilled, beyond thrilled, that that this is going to be made into a movie. I don't want to see any more of the type of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff that we've gotten. I don't want to see any more of that. I need to see this. This is cinematic. The stuff that they do, they've done before has been fun. This is cinematic. This, you could. I would love to see this done, and whoever directs it, give me the guy who did Godzilla -1 to do this story. Probably no over exaggeration. You could have an Oscar nominated movie with that type of story, that samurai influence, that samurai respect, the ritualistic thing. There's a lot of ritualistic ninja things. It's this right here. The core of the ninja is in this book, as far as what a ninja is, the martial arts. If you're Brad and you appreciate, because obviously the moves in the comic book are going to be the moves. But if you're into the customs, if you studied the old customs, this book really brings it back a lot more than you see in the other books. A lot of that has to do with it's just the one turtle and the remnants of the family and friends that are around them. They have a new enemy here. It's it's connected to an old enemy, but like I said, read it before that. If you get a chance to read that, and you're watching this, no matter when you're watching this, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about it. If you're a Turtles fan and you've read this, let me know where you put this, where you rank this amongst the turtle myths. I rank it at the top, but you could rank it somewhere in the middle. Maybe you didn't like it at all. I love this book. I love selling this book to people. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, cover to cover. If you can afford to get the books individually, they sold out when they first came out. Grab those. If you can't get the trade paperbacks, like $20, maybe $24, or you can get something like this, which for a hardcover, relatively cheap, $30. It's a good read. It's a fast read, and I think you guys would enjoy it. I don't know. Brad, you still there? Oh, there you go. Okay. Yep. I was waiting. I was waiting until you came back to put me back on screen. I was just saying, for a guy like you who,
I came back right when you were talking about that part of it.
Shits and secretes kung fu. I think you would love this.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that. A lot of people say that.
And you having a martial arts mind, I think you would perceive it differently than somebody who does not know about martial arts, especially if you know the history of certain rituals and things that happen, and even in the mythical martial arts. I think you're going to really enjoy that book in a way, not more so than I did, but in a different way that I did. So yeah, I'm glad to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles take off the Huggies and put on the pants and get back to what I think it should be.
Apparently, there is a movie in the works, Last Ronin in the work of Paramount, with Walter Hamada producing.
And that's a good. Listen, we laugh.
I know.
That's what he's good at. I said, I was saying the guy who directed. Get me the guy who did Godzilla -1, because that movie, that ritualistic, the samurai spirit that the World War II Japanese Imperial Navy and Imperial Army had, it that ritual, that weight of your friends. It's like it's the camaraderie, whether it's there or not. If you notice when we watched Godzilla -1, the camaraderie that those guys built is the same camaraderie that the Turtles have built, but it's gone. And remember, when they would lose people or when they thought somebody was dead, how they reacted in Godzilla -1. Just imagine losing 3. And all you have left is vengeance. all you have left is vengeance. So I really enjoy that book. I think everybody should read it. And like I said, I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to listen. Yeah, okay. Let's not go too far. There are, like I said before, there are some great turtle stories, but then there's this. There's good turtle stories. Don't get me wrong. Then there's this. I put this on a different one. Wherever you want to call those stories, if you want to call those great, then this is up there. I don't like some of the stuff that they've done with the turtles. I definitely don't like what they've done in the movies. I think the movies, for the most part, have just been hard to watch. But if you did it this way, if you did it with this tone, I think it would be a masterpiece. Personally, that's just me.
Well, and let's get John Wick on board.
I mean, he would be unrecognizable. I mean, you could get a lot of people, dude. You could give me Jason Statham to play the Last Ronin. Yeah, awesome. I cannot answer that. I could, but I don't want to. I want you to go out and get this. Let's see. I saw your question come through, but I was kind of multitasking there, Anthony. The Fantastic Four is what he's asking me. Is it true that part of the Fantastic Four First Steps movie is that their version of the 1960s and 70s and timeline overall during medieval times, Dark Ages? No, it's in 1961 New York. The New York, that would have been certain things happened in their history that didn't happen in normal history, and their New York is basically the world of tomorrow, the one you see in like the 1958 World's Fair or something like that. Jalen, it's a Curse franchise. What is this Curse franchise? Oh, do you think Superman not releasing Sneak Peek today will hurt the movie? I don't know. I think it could have really helped. I think it could have really increased its odds. I don't want to be negative, but it was a mixed bag with only Guy Gardner. That I agree with. I mean, if you're going to put something out, the fucking dog was a better look than that. People are going to look at Guy Gardner. That looks silly. Out of context, Guy Gardner looks silly. But the dog is universal. Everybody loves dogs. I don't know. And if you got people around you that hate or don't like dogs, you probably have a serial killer in your midst, and you probably need to watch out. Everybody likes dogs. Doesn't matter. You could agree on politics, the weather, whether the earth is flat, or it doesn't matter. Everybody likes dogs. And if they don't like dogs, you need to be looking for other signs. And when people start turning up missing, that's the guy or the gal who did it. So yeah, I would have done something that the universe did. They got something in crypto. I think it's stupid. I can't stand the concept of fucking super dog. Come on. With his little thought bubbles. Oh, my master needs some crypto. What is this? That's fine though, but I never really bothered me. Crypto's never ruined the story for me. But if you got the fluffy dog that people love, use them. You had Puppy Bowl. I thought for sure crypto was going to be doing some crazy shit with Puppy Bowl. I thought that was a given, and then no. And like I said, don't if you don't want to do a full trailer, have crypto sniffing around from the dog. Do something with the dog. The dog is going to be, people might think, oh, that movie sucked. But the dog was cute. Oh, I thought that movie was shit. But you know what? My kid loves that stuffed doll, that little grabber machine. You know, the dog is going to make a lot of money. So use them. So yeah. But yeah, I think the movie, listen, whether it's a good movie or not, may not even matter. That's with any movie. Like I said, you could package, I could sell you a bag of shit if I put it in the right foil. Sometimes it's the packaging and some marketing. There have been some truly dreadful movies that have made a lot of money because they were marketed great. I mean, we talk about it all the time. There's some absolutely shit-worthy movies that had great advertising campaigns and they made money and they had staying power. So, if Superman, this is not even me judging the merit of whether Superman is going to be a good movie or not. You got to sell it no matter what. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. But no, like I said, we said the minimum 450 million minimum. But I think if it gets into the 550 to 650 or above, like I said, for the start of your universe in the wake of all the dumb shit that you've done with the IP, that's good. Because we're not just talking about that movie. It's the universe. Superman is the first step of a universe. If that movie does well, or anywhere near well, it doesn't even need to make more than Man of Steel, because the Man of Steel came and then you did the damage to the IP. So if you can, with all the damage to the IP, you can come in and do 550, 650 or more, that's good. If you do more than that, that's excellent. All right, so let's see. Able to get your Instagram recently? I would go with Jason Statham over Keanu Reeves. They both have the same acting ability, by the way, which, like I said, I don't pay to see Jason Statham act. I don't pay to see Keanu Reeves act. So I just, but I think Jason Statham is a better martial artist from the layman point of view. So I think that's what you would need. Let's see. Hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like, subscribe. I need to start promoting myself better. Let's clarify the question. I think. Hold on. William and Brad, Garth Evans, the last.
Oh, yeah. He's my guy.
I mean, you could have the dude who the guy you always bring up. I think you got his name tattooed on the back of your neck. There's Chastahowski. He could do it. I mean, there are a lot of people that, but you would want, if you're reading this book, which is hilarious because it's almost like the Raid because of the close quarters combat. That kind of
Raid with a turtle.
Yeah, that kind of action, because like I said, the fact that the way he fights you in this, it does, it's a turtle obviously, but you could envision some really close quarters. Like they said, the entire book is the hallway scene, the upstairs downstairs.
Sorry, you suggesting that they were inspired by the Raid when they wrote it?
No, I think they were inspired by just classic, ninja type movies. Period, close quarters fighting that existed before the Raid. If I were WVD, I would have had a white puppy. I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, crypto. If it were me, crypto's everywhere. I got crypto draws. I got crypto plushies. I got crypto Funkos. I got crypto anything. Crypto's on the cereal. All right. Crypto is on dog treats. Dog treats, dude. Petco, PetSmart, all these dog cryptos. I got a life-size crypto sitting out in front of your pet section of every store that you have. I mean, use the dog. I think crypto is absolutely absurd. And Blippo the Super Monkey and Comet the fucking Super Horse, which, by the way, I have to come to terms with the horse being relevant in a story that was actually pretty good. But that's another story altogether. But yeah, use them, dude. Everybody loves the dogs, dude. The kids love the dog. You know how many times a parents made a horrible decision to pick up a dog because their kids like, oh, they don't got they're at the kennel or whatever, and they just can't leave the cute little dog there, and they're like, okay, we can take him, and then you got him for whatever. People love the dog. The dogs are the icebreaker. You could hate your fucking neighbor. If your neighbor has a cute dog and dog likes you, guess what? There you go. Dogs can solve wars or something. I mean, they brought the dog out there. So, yeah, let's use them. In fact, I don't need to see any of these other characters. I don't even need to see Corn Sweat. Corn Sweat's not going to be what brings the families to the movie theater. Crypto is. So there you go. I mean, they gave themselves a ingenious marketing tool, and they're not even using it. It's like, on Puppy Bowl, you had a good idea to be there on Puppy Bowl. Okay, let's do something. Instead of Lilo and Stitch, Crypto's running around there, tackling 300-pound linebackers or whatever. Nobody can get the ball from them. There you go. Listen. I'm a bonehead, and I'm thinking this up. So
Brent Foster, Scott Adkins. Yeah, I could see him.
Well, they'd be in a lot of makeup, so you wouldn't know. Okay, dude, you need to stop with the cowboy stuff. Oh, listen. I know. Okay, Chuck Cage, you're either joking with me, which I hope is the case, or I hope you really don't think that you have nothing but misery in store for you when it comes to these Cowboys. I don't wish that upon you, but that really old dude he's not going to let go. He's wishing that on you. The Chiefs, they wouldn't beat anybody. They can't even get into the playoffs, dude. They haven't been to a conference final in your lifetime. We established this. As you have drawn breath on this planet, your team has been bad. They're not going to beat the Chiefs. They're not going to beat anybody. I mean, come on. Your best bet is to trade Jerry Jones. If you could package Jerry Jones for a box of popcorn, you don't even need a player back. If you could just trade him for a player to be named later, Jerry Jones being away from your team, that automatically raises you into Super Bowl contention. But he's one of them old dudes that's going to live forever, right? He's going to live forever. Other people are going to come and go. Climate's going to change. Dinosaurs may come back. Fucking Jerry Jones is going to live forever. And as long as he's alive, he ain't letting go of that team. So all you guys with the star on your head, you know, and talking to grandma and grandpa about the last time that the Cowboys were any good, he's going to outlive all of you, right? And he's rich, so he probably sleeps in a chamber somewhere, you know, and he's not about winning. He's about people talking about him. He doesn't want to win no trophy anymore, so sorry, man. Chuck, I hope you don't get any Super Bowl tattoos when your team looks like they're having a good year and you're like, you know what, I'm going to get this out of the way because you're going to have to ink that shit over with, man. Sorry, dude. Yeah, there you go. Get to the playoffs. Yeah, Cowboy. I might have to ban Cowboy fans from this place. They're going to be crypto cosplay. Come on, man. You know there's going to be, when I go to San Diego, there's going to be people dressed up as the dog. Probably be more people dressed up as Crypto than Superman. And you know why? Crypto's got a better costume because Superman's costume's awful. He needs to lose the cape, though. Build-A-Bears. Yeah, Build-A-Bear. Yeah, dude, yeah. On your forehead? Yeah, go ahead and put it there. Go ahead and put the Dallas Cowboys tattoo on your forehead. All right, so let's get demonetized even further. Hey, listen, I got us demonetized without Brad's help. You got to give me a hand. Okay, so let's watch.
I'm so proud of you, man.
Possibly. You know what? 7 times I've been hit by raid references or raid trailers and shit. 7 times. Granted, that adds up to about $1, but still, it's annoying. All right, so let's watch the Mission Impossible. Man, when we did our most anticipated movies, this one was up there. And this little 30 seconds here, I don't know if there was a larger one. I couldn't find a larger one. That was from a few days ago, but the one that they showed today for Final Reckoning, man, this looks great. Here we go. I'm donating 14 cents to YouTube. Here you go.
It's been a long time, Ethan.
Your mission, should you choose to accept. Everything you were, everything you've done, has come to this. I need you to trust me. One last time.
All right.
Look at that shit. That man, this man is,
crazy man hanging from
man is like, I mean, insane. Doesn't even like.
He's not going to stop either. It's not about making any money. It's not about winning anything. And he's bored and he's ran out of things on this planet to do. So now he needs to leave the planet. All right. He's never going to age. He's going to be he's going to make movies on other planets. He's going to be the guy that makes the movie in outer space. He's going to film it. He's going to live out there. He's going to do everything. He's going to want to do a spacewalk and not be tethered. He's going to want to jump from one thing to another. He's going to want to track down a meteorite and do a movie scene on there. He's crazy. Some people are just crazy. All right. Entertaining? Yes. Yes. But not to the point where I'm like, okay, are you going to come back from this, dude? And I'm not just talking about in the plot of the movie. Are you going to come back from some of this crazy shit? You're 62 years old.
I mean, he's watch that him hanging on to that Cessna as it's doing those donut rolls. And I just with his hands. I'm at a loss. There's no word to describe. Like there's insane and there's Tom Cruise.
Yes, I was demonetized for the draft. I knew it. I knew it was coming. I was demonetized for Fantastic Four too. When we showed trailers, they used to be okay. Unless I'm actively promoting it the week of, then I'll get demonetized because I can get a permission from them to do it. The people who Aaron, God damn it. You got to stop this. The people who would be dressing up as crypto will be those furries. Oh man. Well, if we weren't dismonetized by the trailers, we just got to don't Google furries, people. don't just don't. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Was there a Jurassic Park trailer today?
Not today. It was back on Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, we watched it. I don't know.
I liked it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna pass. Like I said, my Jurassic, whatever you'd have gotten to me 10 years earlier, you'd have had me as one of your dinosaurs. I would be sitting here with a stuffed dinosaur. I was at the age where I just didn't care about those kind of movies anymore. And the awe and the wonder after you see the first one, once you see the dinosaurs doing all that and that kind of technology, it just wasn't okay. That's cool. What else are you gonna do? Oh, you're gonna start killing dinosaurs? Ooh, yeah. And this one looks like Alien to me. So I was like, I don't hate Jurassic Park franchise. I'm just not for it.
Tom has a photo climbing the Space Needle.
I think he does. I don't think he's not joking.
He has a photo where he's just sitting like casually on top of the Burj Khalifa, like, hey, just up here chilling.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
he's got a wave. He's got it. I mean, who insures this guy is like, you got to sign on a paper.
Well, that's why he's an executive producer in all his movies, because nobody can tell him no but him.
Yeah, and like I said, he's broken his foot. He had to stop filming from the last two Mission Impossible movies because he tried to jump, and I saw the distance he was jumping. And when they showed it, I'm like, are you out of your mind? That's not a young person's jump. He was trying to clear at least a 12. I mean, Olympic. That was like an Olympic level jump. And wearing suit and not shoes that you don't do that in. And he slipped and he almost broke it. He broke his ankle. And I'm like, you almost broke everything, son. I mean, you could, if you'd have slipped on that at that height, you're delaying Mission Impossible for years, not just months. So he don't care. He does not care. That man is insane, but he's fun to watch. I just don't want to, I pray for the man. I was like, I don't want to be entertained to the point where you die. That's when it's not fun anymore, so all right. So you youngins, damn kids in the chat. There is a movie that was released in 1984 that had probably one of the greatest. Jurassic World did have one. They did have a big game spot. We may watch it since we're already demonetized. Had one of the greatest soundtracks, and that is called Streets of Fire. Those of you who love William Dafoe, one of his earlier movies. He plays a kick-ass villain in this thing. Here, I'm gonna show you the trailer. We need to do a watch along for this though. We need to do a watch along for this one. This is the official trailer for Streets of Fire. For those of you who've heard of Meatloaf, Jim Steinman, who wrote Meatloaf's songs, wrote a lot of the songs for this. A lot of them are ballads, and it was the 80s. So here we go.
I'll be coming for her, and I'll be coming for you too.
Sure you will, and I'll be waiting.
Diane Lane, Mama Kent.
You are about to enter a world unlike any you've ever seen before, where rock and roll is king. The only law is a loaded gun. Where the beautiful,
stay and see the show. It's really good.
the brutal,
I want Tom Cody.
and the brave all meet
From now on, it's for real.
in Streets of Fire.
You're lying in your bed and on a Saturday night, you're sweating buckets and it's not even hard. But your brain is got the message and it's sending it out to every nerve and every muscle you got. You got so many dreams that you don't know where to put them, so you better turn the fuel on blues. Your body's got a feeling that it's starting to rust. You gotta rev it up and put it to use. And I
That's not her singing, by the way. Rick Moranis.
Now, from the creators of 48 Hours, Universal Pictures presents Michael Paré, Diane Lane, Rick Moranis, and Amy Madigan in a Walter Hill film, Streets of Fire.
All right, so it looks as cheesy as that trailer presented it in, but it's right after 48 Hours. It's when MTV started to influence how you made movies. So this movie was like, okay, we're not just going to put our, get on there with the soundtrack. We're literally going to make a video that is a theatrical movie. So they're singing, it's a musical. It makes no sense sometimes. It wants to be in the 50s, like, the Wild Ones, but it's in the 80s. All of those guys are lip syncing. Diane Lane can't sing. Sorry. She's beautiful. She's hot, but she can't sing. And William Dafoe this is one of my favorite roles of him in there. He plays this just really crazy. And that fight scene at the end with the fire. Some trivia about this. They were filming at weird times of the day. So they couldn't just wait for night to film. So we visited Universal Studios. There's actually a tour where this lot was, and they put a big, 200-300 feet tarp over each part of the buildings that they were in, and they poked holes in them. So when you're watching that movie, you're watching a movie that's been shot in the daytime, but they didn't have time to wait, so they put tarp over the roofs of the buildings and poked holes in them. So because the entire movie takes place at night for the most part, but it's nothing but a long video. But it fit right into the MTV area. Now look at the soundtrack. The people who are singing that song are Fire Incorporated, written by Jim Starwood, Nora Fast. That's the thing that was actually a pretty good hit for that. The whole thing is written by him. Stevie Nicks did something. Tom Petty was in there. Dan Hartman. Now Dan Hartman. So this won me so much money. They did a song called "I Can Dream About You." All right, you damn kids, I know you don't understand, but there's a song called "I Can Dream About You," and here's the thing though. In the movie, it's called like the Five Heartbeats or whatever the group is in there that are singing the song. It's five black guys just doing they're like a 5-piece band, and I won money as a kid from other black folks that were like, they're really singing that song. No, they're not. No, they're not. Yeah, they are. He's on the video. No, they're lip syncing. Diane Lane is not singing that song. Okay. Now the song that I'm talking, I'm going to put it in the chat. In fact, you know what? Fuck it, I might just show it. This song right here, I'm already demonetized, so who cares? So this song right here, "I Can Dream About You." This was a song by the late great Dan Hartman, by the way. So that's him. That's his girl. All right, and that's the scene from the movie. I remember showing this person that I won money from this video. She tore up and down. It's these guys that are singing the song. It's those guys. They're all lip singing, and they do a dance movie. And they were doing the moonwalk forwards and backwards. And then there's Dan Hartman, the white guy singing. And this was a pretty big song in that era. But the reason I bought this one up is because it's a huge contrast into the way movies are made today. Remember how we did a show, Where Did the Soundtrack Go? In the 80s, not only did you have the soundtrack to the motion picture, the movies sometimes were just crazy. This was one of the craziest movies I've ever seen. it doesn't. It has every reason to suck. It doesn't make any. The story is just some big goofy romance. Prince Charming shaming the damsel in distress, and there's some vicious dude who wants to. They're fighting over a girl. There's motorcycles where there shouldn't be motorcycles. There's 1957 Thunderbirds where there shouldn't be, and what's going on with William Dafoe's hair? But it all works. It all works. You leave it. This is one of those movies when you grow up as a kid, you just leave in a good mood, and then you go home and guess what's on MTV? All the songs from it. So, Streets of Fire is one of the ones we're gonna eventually do. I think that this is one of those movies that should be shown in modern day film school, simply to show that yes, there was a time where you could make music and intertwine it within a movie. Not just The Crow. The Crow is probably the second best example of it, but The Crow had a soundtrack. The people, they were singing and dancing and involved. Singing, dancing, violence, fire, fighting. Love this movie, man. It's a guilty pleasure. It's not the greatest movie of all time. No. But sometimes movies can just be fun. I've learned that. Sometimes movies can just be outright fun. I don't know how much this movie. Okay, it was a box office bomb when it first came out. It was a bomb by 80 standards because I don't think anybody got the concept. They spent $14.5 million on it, and they made $8 million. It weighed a lot more afterwards because a lot of the songs hit the MTV and hit the airwaves after the movie was already out of circulation. And plus, it's a cult classic now. A lot of these guys have gone on to be in some big things. Obviously, Diane Lane, William Dafoe he was in a creepy commercial today. By the way, probably the best commercial of the day. William Dafoe, whoever that was him playing pickleball and beating everybody for beer. That was hilarious. But William Dafoe, this was one of his earlier roles that he did. So if you're a William Dafoe fan, go watch Streets of Fire. We're gonna do it. We're gonna watch this. Yeah, that was a big influence. The 50s things and the whole leather that Billy Idol, because Billy Idol was just making it big then. I think he was on his second or third album. I think Rebel Yell was big. I mean, all you saw was Billy Idol doing this all day. And he was big then, but the leather and everything else, they just where the fuck this movie took place and when it took place, who knows? Because I don't even think he knew. Let's see. It's fun. Just don't go into it trying to make sense of anything. There's a hot chick that two guys are fighting over. There's a guy who used to live there, but it's an old Western type of thing. I left and went around the world, and I come back home because I'm needed. And the people who stayed there in this whole ruinous town are, what are you doing back here? It's the same. It's a generic premise, but it even goes. It's almost like a cartoon. It's people are doing shit that the stunts are. The stunts aren't horrible, but the people that are surviving the things that are happening to them, it's okay. That's it. There's an airbag over there. So it was fun. Let's see. William Dafoe wanted to be. Have you ever seen Eddie and the Cruisers? Yep, with Michael Pare. They should have never done a sequel with that movie. Eddie and the Cruisers was, I think, right after this. No, they did. Yes, they do, and that's the good part about it. Like Diane Lane horribly lip syncing. To that song was one of the coolest parts of the movies. Now, only certain people break out in the song. Michael Pare doesn't. William Dafoe, don't worry, he don't sing. A lot of people thought that. I thought that when because Hall & Oates was huge right around that time too, and they were everywhere. So I didn't know it was Dan Hartman. I didn't know it was Dan Hartman until I saw the video somewhere, and then I went to school, and everybody was telling me, those guys are really singing that song. I'm like, they're not singing that song, dude. That's Dan Hartman, and this is why he was still alive. And then I forgot where we were at. I was at somebody's house, and because back then you had to wait for a fucking video to come on. And there's Dan Hartman, and then those guys lip syncing to him, and I won my money. I won like $10 that day. Ooh, yeah. Oh, he has a pretty good resume. Yeah. Going Nowhere Fast. There's another one that they do. Tonight is what it's like to be young. That's what they ended off. Oh, you never heard this song? Oh, you've heard it. Okay, yeah. I Can Dream About You. Yeah, it's a pretty. Yeah, she was in a Diane Lane. This is Diane Lane, like a 20-year-old or 22-year-old. She's really young here. So I think, like I said, this is where I first saw Diane Lane. She was in like some Francis Ford Coppola stuff, but I didn't see her until then. Let's see. Oh yeah. Let's see. Yeah. For Streets of Fire, you can get it for free on YouTube. It's literally when I looked up the video, you can get it, and even if you don't watch it, dude, just listen to the soundtrack. But the movie is the soundtrack, So I loved it. This is part of our generation, so I know. Yeah, it's on Prime, but you can find it for free somewhere. Dropping a fire track in the fade. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. We were supposed to do Excalibur. I had to reschedule that. Sorry about that. Let's see. Yeah, we are gonna do. I probably have to do it on next Saturday. Actually, I could probably do it this week since I'm off from everything. All right, so let's see. What is fourth to say? Yeah, Howling 2 and 3 were both awful movies. I try to forget they were ever made. They're really bad, especially the original Howling is a classic. Are you streaming? What a shitty Super Bowl. Yeah, it was a shitty Super Bowl all around. So it's another credit musical. Yeah, Little Shop of Horrors. Yep. Little Shop and Steve Martin. All right, so his movies, The Warriors, and did he do The Warriors? Was that? Oh yeah, Walter Hill. Oh God, did he do it? He's still alive too, by the way. Oh wow, yeah, he did, dude. That's a watch along right there. That movie's crazy. He did The Driver, The Warriors, Southern Comfort, 48 Hours, another 48 Hours. Both were great. Streets of Fire, Red Heat was a hit. He worked on Deadwood, Tales of the Carib. He produced films in the Alien franchise. Please tell me he didn't do 3. Please tell me you didn't do 3. I don't want to attach that to you. Hold on. Please tell me you did not produce that reputable movie. Filmography. Let's see. Aliens. Okay. He produced. Oh, he did. Oh, my goodness. All right. So he did the story. He was executive of Aliens. And then he wrote Alien 3. He was a producer of Alien 3. But you know what? He did enough good stuff to where I can forgive that. At what point career was the movie Rick Moranis before he did Ghostbusters movies? I think he did some earlier comedy stuff. I know he was on it. He was on SCTV too. He was mainly a TV guy. See, I like Florence Pugh. I think the Thunderbolts look a lot of fun. He had a cameo as a judge in Baby Driver. I did hear about that. All right, so we've covered that part of the thumbnail. So now it's on to another recommendation that is technically tied to the first one I gave you because, like I said, if you're talking about Elektra, you're talking about Frank Miller's Daredevil. And if you're talking about Frank Miller's Daredevil, you kind of don't have this without this. I just picked this up today. This is actually this is Bill Siekowitz's Mutants and Moon Knights and Assassins. It's a compilation of his work in New Mutants, which he did some legendary work for New Mutants. He did a run in 1985 of Moon Knight, but what he's probably most known for besides those two is Elektra Assassin, which is probably one of the great miniseries of that time. So something like this opens up. For those of you who weren't around in the 80s, the thing that made New Mutants cool was the style that was Chris Claremont and Bill Sienkiewicz approached him with. They did a lot of page breakdowns that were a lot of just. It was like you were in a dream, like somebody was sketching a dream, and this is what they would do. And these are the work print things that they would do for. And you got characters like, if you like Magic, Demon Bear. This is probably one of his most famous villains that he created for them, Demon Bear. There you go. and he would use an entire page. He would tell your story to that. Now, then he has the entire run of Moon Knights in here, but here's where it gets where I started. This is Elektra. His version of Elektra after other than Frank Miller's, the tall, thin, not very curvy, not the most attractive. She wasn't really the hottest thing out there, but she was a statue of a woman, and she was lethal. Bill Sienkiewicz would switch from doing just regular comic book art to painted art on the same panel. This was basically what these things do. This is probably one of my favorite panels in the book. I posted this today. And one of the samurai she's fighting. This story, when it comes to Elektra Assassin, there's no romance there. She's a cold-blooded killer. I think that was one of the things that kind of like softened her is the love affair she had with Matt Murdock. When they would tell a story like Elektra Assassin, something like that, where she was away from all those elements, you got to see what a true killer she was. She's a heartless killer, and I hope the next time that they get a chance to, they portray her that way, as a cold, unfeeling killer. Because you read her origin in there and where she was, grow up in an orphan, growing up in a girls' school and places like that, where all the abuse and everything that she's been through, she's turned her mind off to the outside world. That's why it was so unique that she fell in love with Matt Murdock, because she's basically hired to kill him. He's a target for her. And remember, when she was killed by Bullseye, she was on her way to doing. If anybody read the story. She was on her way to kill Foggy Nelson on the orders of the Kingpin. And the only reason that Foggy didn't die that day, she missed her opportunity. Bullseye kills her because he wants to get back in the good graces of the Kingpin. He wants to become the Kingpin's top assassin again. But I think a lot of people forget because of the romance element and the way it's been portrayed, that horrific movie. And then even in the show, is that she is a heartless killer. If she's in love with you, that may delay her from killing you, but she'll target your friends, your family, your colleagues, doesn't care. She knew what Foggy Nelson meant to Matt Murdock, and she was about to ice his ass. And I think Elektra Assassin just shows you the pure cold-heartedness that is the character that I missed, that I hope that they do. Also, the artwork of Bill Sienkiewicz makes it look like it is something that's not real, something that you're not supposed to have a human emotion towards. He's real good about making her not look human. And some of the things she does in here, like she's cutting people up so fast with her sword that cameras can't see her, stuff like that. She's a true ninja here. They could have named it Elektra Assassin, but there's something like this you can get for you can get the books Elektra Assassin. They're not that expensive. But you could get something like this for $40 that gives you Moon Knight. If you like his artwork and like the stories, Moon Knight, New Mutants, and Elektra Assassin all in one book, all with the original artwork in it. As we get closer into through season 2, which will probably end up starting tomorrow, and as we get into season 3, and as we get into Born Again, which I'm almost assured that that Elektra will be there. This is a good. This is a good book. One of the best ways to get in touch with the actual core of the character. There are better stories, but if you want to understand truly what Elektra is, Elektra Assassin is the best out there. All right, I think I successfully covered all of the thumbnail topics. I'm gonna have to mute Brad for a second here because he's got like a vacuum cleaner going up. There we go. Let's see. So here we go. Watched all the trailers. I guess we can watch the Jurassic Park trailer, the TV spot. Let's do that, and then that'll wrap it up. You got a lot of feedback coming through.
You hear me now?
I can hear you, but I can also hear just something like rhythmic static
probably
coming.
Probably my ceiling fan.
Oh, okay. So what's the new trailer? So one day ago. All right, so here's the TV spot for hold on. I think this is it. I wasn't there when this one was played because I wasn't really looking for it. So there we go. They call it the big game. Same reason I had to use the asterisk for my Super Bowl.
He's your guy?
We're the best at moving things and people in and out of places they shouldn't be.
We avoid government patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
Why's that?
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
This island was the research facility for the original
I
Jurassic
don't know if
Park.
this is the one we saw today, but
Please don't say they're raptors. They're raptors.
The worst of the worst. We're left here.
Come on!
We put ourselves in a place we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
What the hell are those?
yeah. This is the one they played, but it looks like the one we already saw. So, but like I said, we already got demonetized. So there you go. Wasn't on the thumbnail because
More to it.
Oh, there was more to it. Okay.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, you guys listen. Have fun. Have fun. I think the box office is they're gonna have a good time this July. This is the box office that if you hung on as a theater, this is your prize at the end of it, because I think all these movies are going to do well enough to where it's going to be a good July for the box office. They better have buckets ready. There better be a dinosaur bucket or a raptor bucket, something popcorn bucket wise. Crypto dog dish for crypto. Put the popcorn. I don't care. You get better. This is a great time to add on revenue, and not only can you have those out there for each of these movies, you could have them there for any of these movies. So if Jurassic Park's out there and I see a crypto popcorn bucket, then it's there. You're making your money before the movie even starts. So this is July is gonna be a very Comic-Con's that month. Probably end up seeing Fantastic Four at Comic-Con or either at or around Comic-Con, like we did with Deadpool versus Wolverine. The dinosaur movie will happen on July 4th weekend. And then, before that, July 11th, we have Superman. It's going to be, and like I said, this Superman being where it is, the lawsuit. I don't think they're going to settle that lawsuit, whatever is going on. That's not going to affect the date of it being out there. I think Superman being sandwiched in between those is going to really help Superman make as much money as it could possibly make. So let's see. Yes. All right. Let's see. Elektra director movie. There's just nothing that could have saved that movie. To be honest with you. That would be a chappy. See, Brad got drunk off a root beer on his birthday. Yeah, I mean, the Jurassic one looks a lot like the whole mercenary thing. I mean, seen that 1,000 times. You just throw in some dinosaurs to it, I guess. I mean, let's see. Okay, the one person I don't want to talk to wants to do an open panel.
Guys, I don't know if I can manage an open panel the way I sound right now.
Yeah, Brad is convalescing, so. How many days do you think you'll be on the shelf, or not 100%?
I'm hoping by the end of this week, I get my voice fully back.
Damn. That's like emergency room shit right there.
What, like that long or what?
Yeah, because you've been sick for a couple of weeks now. Like a month.
I've been sick. I've been sick for I got that symptoms hit me like Tuesday night, but it's my voice getting back to normal.
Oh, that's fucked up. I think he's beyond that there. Brad hit puberty.
Again, I'm not in any pain. All that's over with. Thank God.
All right. Let's see. We're gonna do another live action Tomb Raider. I don't know. I really like the one with Alicia Vikander in it, and that never got off the ground. I was hoping that would become a series, and it never did. So. Brad needs Tylenol. Yeah. All right. Tomorrow at some point, I got a lot to do before I get to do this, but I got to Got to get our watch along for tomorrow going on, so it'll probably be earlier in the evening. It won't be so late because I will be available for then. So we're gonna try to. I'm gonna see how many episodes are pro because we're behind on the Daredevil thing.
Yeah.
I want to get back on track.
Yeah,
Yes, I
don't
did
know
the Thunderbolt trailer.
And yeah, I mean, I was actually going to ask you about that because we talked about if we wanted to do kind of go through the first half. It's like again, it's like I don't know if I can manage that until I like fully back to like speaking like myself. So.
All right. Well, we may do it and not just have you just may not talk. I mean, you just talk. I mean, you can talk where you strategically choose where where you want to be as far as like that goes. All right. I don't know about the open panel. How long have we been on there? Been on there for 2 hours.
Yeah. No, I probably need to wrap it up myself.
Yeah, Brad. We probably just take mercy on Brad, and we'll do it later on. Probably won't do an open panel until we can all talk. And like I said, probably the next open panel will probably be Saturday on our normally scheduled Saturday show, which would be happening for the foreseeable future. So yeah, I really want to go over a certain amount of time on a Sunday. So it's not like I got to go home and watch Super Bowl highlights. That whole game was a little late. All right, guys, that's it. Please like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. If you're watching on Twitter right now, please come over to the mothership. There it is right there. It's under my name, but if you need it to be bigger, there it is. It's there. YouTube.com/@the-Sci-Fi Center. We are steadily creeping up in our subscriptions, but we're not hitting like that big 1,000 every day, number like that. So you only hit that one time. So it may seem like we're slowing down, but our views are still piling up, and we are growing every day. So. And like I said, if you're on any other platform and you're seeing this, like I said, we would love for you to come here and join the proper channel. We get nothing from no benefit from being on Elon land. So there we go. All right, guys, that's going to be a wrap. I will see you tomorrow. Keep an eye on the notifications to find out exactly what time we're going to start Daredevil. I'll like I say, with or without Brad. Brad's up for it, and then but I don't want to push him. So if he needs to swallow some pine sol or something to clear out his throat, then go ahead. It's just going to be mainly me watching the screen. But yeah, but that's it. But like I said, I know you love the series, so I'll try to wait. Would you rather us wait until? I mean, because like I said, March 4th is approaching. It's up to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's. Because I'd rather be there for the whole ride of this. I mean, we got time. We can get through the. Other 2 seasons, in that time frame. So it's like, yeah, I if at all possible, I'd want to be there for all of it if we can.
Okay, well then who knows? We might just take tomorrow off. All right, well, you guys will find out in the notifications. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that stuff, and then if anything pops up, then we'll pop up. If not, you'll see us again on Tuesday. That's been it for one of the last Sunday night like this. We'll go back to our Sunday night live streams next week, but this was sort of a hybrid Saturday show to get all the topics that I was thinking about. All right, see you guys later.
Yes.